My story is called We're Having Grouper. Christopher stood on the old rickety pier at the end of the cove. This was where he planned to catch the biggest grouper. It was extremely hot outside, so much so that the salty ocean water evaporated as it splashed against the pier. Christopher cast his fishing line into the water and patiently waited for a slight tug on his rod. Once he felt a tug, he quickly jerked his fishing rod backward. The hook shot out of the water without bait or catch. At the same time, an enormous wave crashed on the pier, causing Christopher to fall backward in order to avoid being drenched. Then suddenly, another wave blindsided him and tossed him into the ocean. As he was tossed in, he scraped his back on barnacles that clung to the side of the dock. The bloody cuts stung as he entered the salty water. The blood made the water around him turn a dark maroon color. When he was bobbing above the water, trying to stay afloat, he noticed triangular shapes circling him. "Sharks!" Christopher yelled. To his good fortune, a dinghy broke loose from the pier and hurled toward him. He tried to gather as much strength as he could and pulled himself out of the water into the dinghy. Unfortunately, another wave crashed on top of him, flinging him back into the shark-filled ocean. He struggled to get back into the dinghy. Right after he got in, a 5-foot shark jumped out of the water. Christopher acted quickly and ducked as the shark flew right over his head. When Christopher was in the dinghy, he held on for dear life. The current washed him out to sea. He watched as the pier got smaller and smaller on the horizon. He only had a fillet knife with him, which was meant to be used to skin his 500-pound grouper that he intended to catch this day. Christopher was exhausted and hopeless as he drifted off to sleep. He dreamt that he was at school, sitting at his desk, working on endless amounts of schoolwork. Then a bell went off, ringing continuously for over an hour. He finally woke up and realized it was only a dream. But the ringing did not end. It was coming from his front pocket. He reached down into his front pocket and pulled out wet lint and his cell phone. When he answered his phone, he heard his mom's voice. "Where are you? You're late. We're having a grouper," his mother said. Christopher told Mom that he needed help. He explained how he fell into the ocean and that he was still adrift in the middle of the ocean. His mother screamed and quickly hung up the phone. 5 minutes later, a helicopter flew by and dropped a rope ladder down for Christopher to climb up. He stepped on the first rung and started climbing up. He was almost safe. Then his wet Nike sneakers slipped. He was falling back into the ocean. As he fell, he extended his arm and grabbed a hold of the last rung and stopped his fall. Christopher finally climbed into the Coast Guard's helicopter. The helicopter took him to the hospital where they examined him for any injuries. As the doctors bandaged his cuts, Christopher concluded that buying grouper at the grocery store is much easier than catching it yourself.